Hello. See what we have here. Okay, guys, I'm just setting stuff up before we continue. Let me just set this stuff up. Okay, yeah. So back on here. So last time, our last stream, basically we kind of like yeah, before I introduce the last stream. So yeah, guys, the app you are seeing here, or let me say the UI app you are seeing here. So it's basically one of my um daily exploration with the flutter. So if you want to view the source code, if you want to use the app, you can actually see that on my Gumroad. So the link for the app is on my Gumroad, so you can access it there. It works. So basically, whatever you are seeing, you can get the whole source code from my Gumroad. So that's it. Yeah. So with that being said, let's go ahead and continue our app where we stopped the last time, and I think we can actually do that. Let's see. Yeah, yeah. Let me. Okay, yes. Start the app. Like this. Come on. Tap it. So play the screen. Command and P to select emulator or simulator. So I'm going to iPhone 13 and go ahead and run this. So while we are still waiting for this to kind of like build and start showing up here, we could just go straight to yeah. So let's open up here. So basically, the last time we were here, so we kind of like did some, we messed up with a lot of stuff, and the UI wasn't good. Basically the details, the article details. So we completed the article home screen, so that one was okay. It was actually fine, but kind of like we were having issue with the article details screen. Yeah, the article details page. So that's the one we are working on, and we are having some errors to start up the screen and all that stuff. Basically, trying to lay out how everything should look on the screen, because the layout is kind of a bit complicated. We are trying to use what's it called, stack widgets, and stack widgets with a scrollable column inside, and other stuff. So that's what made it kind of like a bit complicated and gave us a lot of tough time to fix that up and get it to work. And yeah, so we are going to continue from there, do some other few changes. let's let's do that. So our app is on. So here we are. And there is our articles controller, which we kind of like implemented it last time. And also we can go straight over here, article screen. So here's our article screen. And remember the datas, we're actually getting these datas from our live um, Firebase backend. So we're getting the articles from here. And so and right now you could just tap on this. So if you tap on this, it takes us to this detail screen. So that's what I'm saying, that we kind of like messed a lot of stuff up here. So we are going to go ahead and fix that here today. And one more thing we could actually show you guys. So we stopped here, which I said that we made some mistake. What was it again? Yeah, so this, and then if you head over to our detail screen, which is this, you can push this down a bit, and then if you scroll up, you can see I said we are using a stack widget, and we are having so this path is basically what we have here, and then we have a position widgets, which inside there we have these icons laid upon this image, and lastly we have this position widget, which has let me see, let's scroll down. So yeah, we have this position widget here, which contains a column, and the column want it to be scrollable, but that's not working because I think there are some issues and some stuff that goes on in stack widget where you kind of put in a column inside and wraps it with a scrollable view. It doesn't scroll. So that's the issue we were trying to fix it last time, and we are going to kind of like complete that today. Hopefully complete the article section. So we are trying to get this. This is what we are aiming for. So we are aiming for this, something like this, where we can actually scroll through this and see what is beneath the under, and then have this section on top of everything. So that's what we're trying to achieve. So enough talking, let's go ahead and do this. So first off, I'm going to uncomment whatever we have here for now. So go ahead and uncomment this out. Let me see where we are commenting it from. And just go ahead and comment everything. Let's go all the way to a scaffold, comment this. I'm back here and just return a new scaffold. So return a scaffold. Scaffold. Inside the scaffold, we have a body. Inside the body, it doesn't have a safe area, so we don't need a safe area. So we replace that with a stack direction. So the body becomes a stack widget. And inside the scaffold, we need a background color. So don't forget that. So we have a background color. And we're getting a background color from theme. So that should be theme.of context as scaffold background color. But let's see if we are making a mistake somewhere, because our article screen should actually have the same background color. So this article screen, okay, yeah, we added that in article screen and article detail screen. So we added this background color. Inside the stack widget, we have a children property, and inside the children property, we kind of like going to have using positioned widget to position each element on the screen. So the first one we are going to do right now is to have a container, right? So we have a container we are going to position, but let's kind of like show you guys the layout, how the layout will look like. So I've positioned, and inside the position we are going to have a child, which is going to be a container. And inside this container we're going to give it a width, a height. I'm going to say height is 350.0, and the width is basically the parent width, overall parent width, or the screen width itself. And then the color, so let's give this a color so we could just see that. So we're going to use colors.yellow, and position we're going to say top is going to be 0.0. Go ahead and save that, and there we go. So we have this layered. This is basically taking the position of the main picture here, and next we're going to add the one that's going to take this position of the scrollable widget. and then we are going to add this one right there. So let's work on that. And if I'm to go and stay in here, so after this particular position, I'm going to add another position, and I'm going to say from the top should be media query dot of context dot size dot height, multiply that by 3. Okay, let's leave it at 3. Right, so there we go. But I want to kind of push it down a bit, so let's say 3.2 3 point. So I'm going to use position, yeah, 3.3. We can actually leave it this way, leave it there. What did I do? So that should be 3.4. And yeah, we have a container with this height, but we don't want to kind of like actually have a container. We want to have a scrollable columns with containers inside. So basically go ahead and replace this directory with a column, and inside the column control is going to have a children, and inside the children actually paste the container code we copied over. Make this to be kind of like in a multiple form, duplicate it and kind of paste it there. Paste, and then paste lastly, and change the colors. So I can give this blue, and I'm going to give this black, give this another color, say green. Okay, save that. So there we have it. But you could say if you try to scroll this column, it will scroll. That's an issue we'll be having. But to try to make that scroll, we have to wrap this with a scrollable single child scroll view. So say single child. Let's say single child scroll view. Yeah. So that's still not scrolling. Let's see what else we need to fix in here. Okay, let me just wrap this with a sized box. Size box here. Size box. I'm going to target the height property, and I want it to take overall height of the parent, and any available height. So it takes that height, and after that, let's try and see if this is just scrolling. Okay, yeah, now it's scrolling. So that's the fix there. So we got it scrolling all the way to the end. And next we could actually use this position.view. Prefer using position.view so that you could actually scroll all the way up, because without this position.view, the other end is going to be hidden, so you can scroll up the way like this. We'll just make the position.view, save that, and we can actually scroll down. And after that, we need to add our bar. So this bar, next it will be this bar here that's laying up here. So that's what we need to add. And to add that layouts, where are we? So yeah, did I miss something? Yeah, article detail screen. Okay, so to do that, we are going to use a container, and inside the container, I'm going to give it a height, and we could say height of 100.0, and I use a constraint there, so I don't want it to be bigger. So use box constraint. So I'm going to say max width, max height. So not to be bigger than 100.0, basically 100. But because this is expecting a double, so I just made a 0.0 there. That's the reason we are adding that 0.0. And the width should actually take all the available widths. So media query dot of context, so that will do that. Or we could actually remove this and use another way. So you could actually use double dot come on, what do I do? So that should be double dot infinity. That will still do the same thing as media query dots, something like that. And next we are going to add a color to it. So I'm going to use colors dot let's see a color that will be different. Yeah, amber. And child for now should be a test field. So test field, we are going to have border, set decoration. So okay, there we go. So you go ahead and save this. Let's see, yeah, go ahead and save that, and that will be an issue. So the whole layout will be kind of like scattered and won't look good anymore, because we are actually adding this whereby other children were positioned using this position element to position every single one where they're supposed to be on the screen. But right now we're actually adding this particular widget that is not actually positioned, so that will kind of like make the whole layout to kind of like misbehave. But to kind of like make this look exactly like what we need to do, we can actually we have two options. Either use a position widget on this to position it like other siblings in there, or we could actually use alignments to align it to the bottom bar of this screen. So that's what we are looking for. We are looking for the second option, which is the alignment. So you can just say align, and in there you could just say alignment dot not top center. That should be alignment dot bottom center. I think that's okay. Yeah, so go ahead and save that, and there you go. So the whole view is back to normal, and that kind of look like a magic in a split of a second. Yeah, so that's it. So if you go ahead and scroll this, you see this is particular staying here, it's not moving. This section is not actually moving. It will keep on being there, it doesn't move. So we kind of like completed the layout we are looking for, which is this layout here. So you can actually have this middle section scrollable, and then have this section lay on top, which is basically what we have here. This stays on top, and the other section scrolls all the way up. So that's what we are looking for, and we got the layout. So the layout is here. So basically what we need to do right now is just start adding like this picture, replace this one with the picture we have here, and then replace this section with what we have here, and replace this bottom here with what we have here. And one more thing I need to show you guys, if you tap on this right now, this should bring up the keyboard. So if you tap on it, so you see it pushes this up, so I can actually see where you are tapping on, which is what we need here, and that's working fine. And if you tap outside, this should actually go down, but it's not working. How to fix that would be to wrap this, basically wrap the whole scaffold. Yeah, wrap the whole scaffold with gesture detector. And you can just say on the on tap, I use this function called hide keyboard. I created this, so it's kind of a utility function I created. So it basically hides the keyboard when you tap outside the screen. I'm going to import that. Go ahead and save that. You see that moves down. So if you tap that again, goes up. Tap outside, moves down. So that's what we are looking for, and that's working fine. So go ahead. right now what we could actually do is to go ahead and start replacing the whole UI with what we need to do. Let me start doing that right away because we have a lot of stuff to do. And this first one right here, I'm going to remove this container and basically replace that with what we have here, which is a container with an image and then box fit.cover, so something like that. And yeah, I think that's it, and we are done with that. We can move over to next one. So let's go ahead and copy that, and I think we could actually copy that from this section all the way here, copy that out, and then in here, let me see, okay, yeah, in here just replace this, and just uncomment this out, remove this second line, and next we're going to Canada height, remove this. So I want the height to cannot be static, which is be 350.0. So that's height we want. And the next is basically add the width property. So that should actually take the variable width. Remember, we have two ways of doing that. Like I said, you can actually use this method, or you can actually use double dot infinity. But I kind of like want to keep all my code in one way, so we'll keep on using this because I've been using it in the app. Save that, and there you go. We have this added to the screen. I think the width is too small. The height is too small. Let's kind of like increase that a bit. Let's say 400. Okay, that looks too much. Or what about 360? Let's see what we have here. Okay, we can just leave it this way. We could start applying other stuffs in there. Next will be see. Okay, next will be to add another position widget for the icon we are looking for. So we want to add those icons that should be here. Go back. So we are looking for this icon, this and this. So you could just, I think we can actually copy that from somewhere here. Yeah, there we go. Just copy the whole stuff. Yeah. Okay, no, come on, scroll down a bit, a bit, a bit. That's enough. And we could just in here somewhere before this, just add that. Position. Uncomment this out. Okay, what did I do? So that should be yeah, so we got that working. So let's import all this missing stuff. Go ahead and import this, and next will be, so this is kind of showing an error. So most of you must have been using this in your project. Basically what this do is kind of like remove the print statement from the production app, so it doesn't have this print statement when your app is running on the production mode. There's other ways you could do that. You could actually implement a logger function, but I kind of like most of the times do this. So go just go and import this from foundation, and there we go. So you have those section layered on top here. So you have the icons, and these are the icons we're looking for. That has been layered on top here. And the next is to add this section down below here. So let's go and add that. And that should be inside. Let me see. Let's see. Should that be scrollable? We can actually add that, not to be scrollable, and that will be somewhere positioned here. And then these ones will be scrollable. I don't know if that makes sense. Okay, you just add it inside there, make everything scrollable. And we could copy the code for that. So the code for that will be let me see. So we have this position widget with a container inside. So I have the position widgets with a container as a direct child. So I'm trying to see how we could just copy that without making a mistake. I think that should be here. Just copy the container. Just copy it like that. And head over here. I'll remove this first container, replace it with what you just copied. Uncomment this out. Yeah, just uncomment that out and remove this portion. What just happened? What just happened? Okay. Oh yeah, that's it. I can go ahead and format the code so it looks better. So go ahead and save this and see what that looks. And there we go. So you can see that added on top over here, which is basically looking like what we have here. So I have the time, the minutes, the dates the article was written, and you have that small space between this and this image. That small space is being added here to this and this image. And it's still scrollable, so you can actually scroll through it. Next will be to, let's see. So after this, then we have the body section. So we want to add this topic title here and then the remaining article body. We could actually get that from, I think we have all the code here for all this stuff. We say that the body section is actually a column. We don't need to add a column part. Basically, we need to copy. So the article heading displayed, just copy this all the way to size box and copy that. And replace another container. So replace this blue container here, this blue container, with the code we just copied. Go ahead and uncomment this out. Save this, and that's removed, and we can actually see that showing up here, which makes sense. But there's an issue. This is actually starting somewhere in the middle and not at the beginning, but we can actually fix that up later on. But let's add the remaining part of the code, which should be the article details itself, which is this part. And I could just copy the whole stuff. So remove the another container, which is the red one. Paste this. No. Okay. What just happened? Okay. I should go ahead and just no, format the code. I think that's it. We could go ahead and remove these remaining containers here. We don't need those ones. Just remove those. So once that is removed, go ahead and save, and there we go. So we can actually scroll down there and scroll up, and that's still working. Just scroll down, scroll up. Okay. We have a lot of issues to fix here. If you look, you see this doesn't look good. Basically, the article body is actually an HTML. So I intentionally added that because we want to kind of format all this, the HTML, because the reason I added this because for the psychologists that will be writing the article, they will be using a text editor, like a text editors that kind of like formats articles in a HTML form. Yeah, basically like that stuff. Let me give you an example. That should be let me say hash node. So if you have to click on this section, I think I have an account here, but I want to show you guys what I'm trying to do. I thought I have an account. Okay, yeah, I think I have an account here. So basically, this is kind of a text editor that will be adding for the psychologist section. So the psychologist page of the app, we have this. So normal users will not be seeing this. So when the psychologist kind of like this article title right here, and this will be the body, and this will be kind of like formatted in HTML form. Let's say heading here, subheading. So I say subheading. So this is heading. Click on that. So heading 1, you see. And then if you go below this, so I start adding the body for the subtitle. Let's see. So this should be body test. So we call this body test. Select this section, and there we go. So this, when this kind of like being exported, it will be exported in HTML form, and then we save that in our what's it called, in our Firebase backend as an HTML for the article body, and then on our flutter UI, we need to kind of like format this to actually look like a normal text and not an HTML kind of format text. So that's what we'll be doing in this section. So head over here. Give me a minute, guys. Let me just get something going on here. Okay. Yeah. So let's kind of like paste the alignment first, so that this will start from the beginning and not somewhere at the middle. To fix that, we need to say column. We need to use cross axis. So cross axis does start to do the magic. So if you just save that, so the whole thing starts from the beginning. And we still not haven't gotten the layout. So we need a space between this and this, and again we need a space between this and this. And to fix that, I think we somewhere in our code. Okay, let's just add that. So I'm going to use a size box to add a space. So I'm going to say size box. I will comma here. So use the height property. and I can say something like media query. Instead of using media query, I can just hard code it. So to hard code that, let's get it. So from year to year is actually around 23 pixels, and from year to year is actually 26 pixels. So let's do that. So this should be, let's say 25 pixels, 0.0, and then this section is another size box, and the height I'm going to say 26 from the top. So go ahead and save this, and there you go, you have the spaces added. So from the top, like I said, from the top here, so this section is 26, from this section to this section is 23, and they are kind of added. So we need it kind of like a padding between this and this, so that this will not be kind of like overlapping from this section here. There should be a space here and a space here. So we could actually do that by saying right in here, inside the column. So you can actually say inside the column, wrap the whole column with a spacer widget, so space it out, or we could actually go ahead and wrap each of the child with a spacer, and each of them could actually say I think this will make sense. We actually convert this to a container. Since a container we have a padding widget, then instead of adding another padding widget here, so I think so we have a single widget that has both width, and then we can add a padding, and we can use edges set dots only. I will say left 24, right 24. And so let me see, I think there's somewhere I had coded the padding. Not this, not this, not this. UIs. I'm trying to see because I cannot remember I had coded some padding somewhere. Yeah, I think this section. So yeah, we go. So it's called custom spacing. So horizontal padding. So you copy that. Basically copy this class and head over here. Instead of hard coding these paddings here, we just say custom spacing horizontal padding. There we go. And the right section, the same thing, and that should be, yeah, that's all we need to do. So we go ahead and save that. See, we have the padding added at both sides, so do the same here. So convert this, so it already has a container, just basically add a padding, just copy this over. So you have the same pattern added at both end. And lastly, we could actually reduce the width or increase the width, because we have this kind of like overlaps in two, right? So first line and second line, but this we have here is taking three lines to display, and we could just increase the width, let's say 350. Yeah, that's it, we are good to go. So let's fix this one. So we don't want this to be displayed in HTML, we want a normal text. And to fix that, what we could do is to use there's a what's it called, there's a package, a SwiftUI, a Swift package, not Swift package, not SwiftUI, basically a flutter package. I'm talking about Swift tonight, huh? Flutter package called HTML formatter, HTML. Let me make sure of this. think I have that saved somewhere. Let me just give me a moment. Let me make sure of that. Okay, I just found it in my notes. So yeah, so this is the package you're looking for. You can just put it here. So just want this package. It's called flutter HTML, and yeah, you could use it to display HTML properties in your app. It works on both Android, iOS. Yeah, and it's going to kind of format the whole HTML using the H3, all those attributes, like this is paragraph, this is line break, and all those stuff. So let's go ahead and install this. So copy this and head over to your VS Code terminal, paste that in. There it is. Let's move this down. And next we could actually go back to the documentation again. And go back and see how to use this. So, okay. So this is the whole supported HTML tags. Like I said, we have the div, so we don't have div here, but we have h3. So let's say h3. That should be h3 somewhere. Yeah, so we have h3 tag. So there we go. I'll have the paragraph tag, this. I'll have the break tag. Do we? That should be br. Yeah, we have the break tag. So there we go. Let's see what else I need to do. Okay, so I think this is how to use that. So we have string HTML data and passing the data that we want. Okay, pass HTML data like that. And widgets the HTML display to display the document. And that's it. So let's try that out. We say DOM. Okay, import this as DOM and import the HTML parser. Copy both of these. Head over here. Add that at the top right here. And in here, when we get hold of the article, we want to target the article body. So we could say the body text that we are using here, which we are passing in here, so we call it article body. So move that out, so we know where we moved something else, and we need to create a new body somewhere here, or we could actually use let's see first. So let me say right here, I'm going to create this. So we have document DOM parser, so it's html data, and in here the HTML data is basically the article.body. say article. So that should be article.body. That error is fixed. And dump the documents, type of document. And next will be, let's see again, let's open this. So okay, after passing that, we need to use a widget called HTML to display the HTML document. Widget HTML. Okay. So let's try adding that. So let's say in here. So instead of having this text field here, we could actually uncomment this. Comment this and not uncomment. So you just comment it out. Should be this way. And then below it, so you have a child property. And the child property, I'm going to say passing the HTML we kind of like copy the rest. So this says the method isn't defined for the type articles screen try correcting the name to the name of the existing. So just import that. I think that will fix this. Okay, the parameter data is required. Sorry guys, let me answer this call. I'm sorry guys, I just need to answer a few calls. Okay, yeah. So it needs a property called data and not document. But right here they say that we should pass a property called document, if I'm right. So yeah, it says document, but it's telling us it is a property called data. So what happened? Okay, there's still a property called data here. Okay, on tab. Okay, I see. Let's go ahead and do that. So data is basically our document right here. Wait a second. So we can actually sanitize or query our documents here. So that's HTML. Okay. HTML data, which is basically what we come on, scroll down. In there we're having HTML, and we're passing the HTML data, okay, which is basically this text. Okay, see. So we could actually skip this section, this one. Let's comment this out for now, and then copy the article body and pass that in here. And I'll format this. Let's save this. And there we go. So that's working perfectly. Good. So we got this working. So right now this is kind of like formatted in a way that we want. So you have these subtopics here. So these are basically the title of the article. Now we got the subtitles. Each one has its own topic, each own subtext added. So, and if you basically go ahead and open this up, no. So you could see that we have this topic, and then you have subtitle for them, and there we still continue going down, but there's an issue. So yeah, we could just actually have this, then have this list here. But our app is telling us we don't need to add this particular topic. We could just replace that by using this topic like this. So because we are following the design, we could just remove this topic section. That will make more sense. Let's remove that. Not that. That should be this. Okay, yeah, this one. So you could just comment it out for now. Maybe to be useful in the future. And then comment this out. Save this. And see that's removed. And let's go back to our design. Look at that. So there's a spacing here, but that's not too much. But yeah, we kind of like, it looks like that's too much. And then this is kind of nowhere aligned. It's kind of like starting somewhere here. So we need to fix the alignment for this, and then kind of like reduce the spacing we have right here. Let me see. So I think we could just leave it at this point now. So it kind of like looks good, almost matching the design we have. And then we could see. So this should actually have a spacing, a padding. So a padding of should be the same pattern. Some like 10 pixels to it. Okay. Let's see if that's the same alignment. Yeah, I think that's okay. And I can actually increase that same 10 pixels right here, but that wouldn't make sense. So just head over to the custom spacing and add another spacing, and I could say article section. So say article I'll just say article time, and that should be 24 plus 10, that should be 34. To have 34.0. So that's the one we are going to use. So head over here and remove this whole stuff we have here. So say custom dots article time and do the same here. So say custom article time pattern, and you see both of the pattern is we added at the right hand side and also at the left hand side. I think that's it. Next we are working on, we just kind of have to tidy this up. So let's work on the bottom bar that we have here. And the first thing we need to do is add the icon for the bottom bar. So here's our bottom bar. Let's see if I already added somewhere. Bottom bar, I didn't, but we could actually get hold of this bottom bar. We get hold of that from our chat screen. If you could remember, in our chat screen we created a bottom bar for our chats that looks exactly like what we are looking for, and that should be in our chat room screen. Scroll down somewhere. Is it scroll up or scroll down? Let's try scrolling up. No, it should be scrolling down. Think I called it, so this this custom circle button. No, not this. The bottom center, so this should be it. And it has a container which has a height of 75 pixels. Okay, that makes sense. Let's see. Okay, yeah, we got it. So that should be this. So you just go ahead and copy this over. So since we just copied that, we could just say over here and paste that by replacing what we currently have here. Wait a second. Okay, yeah. So this should be the one we should replace. Replace it with this. And now we are getting so much errors that we need to fix. So we don't need this. So we could just, I think we need it, but just uncomment it out for now. And import this. And let's see what else. So the controller, we don't have it. So shared field controller. Let's see if we have a shared field controller here. We can actually add our controller. We just copy this, paste it again, and just change few things because they still the same text editing controller, and we're going to name this chat controller. Does that make sense? Because I'm not adding chats, so that should be comments, because that's basically a comment text field. So we call that comment controller, and remember to dispose it. So say comment controller.dispose. Let's see what else we need to dispose. I think that's all. We'll head over, make use of this article controller. And in here, we just target article. Let me see. Yeah, article controller. So that's what this is what you're looking for. Use that somewhere. Yeah, okay. There we go. Just replace this. Okay. So that error goes away. Next is to actually uncomment all this stuff out. We don't need them at the moment. Because our test field only has a test, we don't need something like, let's say, the emoji icon, which we are going to remove, and you guys are going to see that. So this option, so we don't need this. Close that. And this OBX right here, let me see. Okay, so OBX, we're going to remove OBX, and we are going to leave the custom section. This one, custom circle button. Let's import that first. Once that is imported, I'll just copy that out, or basically go ahead and delete this. Okay, we can't. Just copy this one out and delete the other stuff, the remaining stuff here, which we don't need. Paste this, add a comma, uncomment this section out. We don't need it now. Save this, and there we go. So we actually have this looking good. So these are charts. You can see that. That's a bit off from what we have here. So we have this icon, we have the chart itself, and we have the send icon right here. Let's fix one of most of this stuff we are having here. So I can head inside here, head into this widget and hide the emoji button. So I can say hide emoji button. Should say final hide emoji btn, and this should be a boolean. I don't think this should be actually I'm trying to say it shouldn't be fine. I would need to make it an optional so I kind of like won't disrupt our code. So we're going to say make it optional like that, because we have been using this in a previous code in our other places in the code base, so we don't want to kind of like mess the whole stuff up, because we are adding a new feature to it, though we don't need to mess the whole stuff up. And I'm going to say over here, add that right here, and I'm going to say it start being false. So that's it. So it started being false, and right here, what? Okay, this is not the place we have to do this, so we are doing it at the wrong place. So we're doing it at the wrong place, so let's go back. So we'll actually be doing it at a custom chart field. Yeah, so custom chart field, and in there we could just add this. There we go, and add that inside our constructor. There we go, and then we could just hide the button. So this is the button we are talking about, and I could say which could use if statement here, so we could just say hide emoji, hide emoji is true, so if it's true, go ahead and show an empty container, else go ahead and show this. It should be widget. So if it's true, show this. If it's false, show this. And just first unwrap that, and that's going to cause an issue right here. And what if it's not first? Okay, let's leave it for now that way. And if I head over here and then add hide emoji and set that to true, the error goes away. So we are not having any error at the moment. That's what I'm checking, so there's no error. And this, we change this to comments, so say comments, and there you go. So this is changed to comments. And next is just to increase this, the heights of this, and if you look here, so it's quite big, so let's increase the height. And yes, well, we increase the height from here, so let's try somewhere like 95. I think you are good to go, so this should be okay. We should actually increase this. I remember the last time was 100, so just leave it at 100. Yeah, I think, yeah, that makes sense now. So actually scroll up, scroll down, and we could actually have this icon, this, and this. So if you look here, so you have the icon, we have the comments text field, and have the send button, and that's all we need for this button bar. And we could actually test it and see if it's working, and that's good. So it goes up, so I could actually see what we are typing in. Type something in and just clear that out, then tap outside, it goes back. So that's good. And scroll down, we need to add this section. So this section called the author section, and then the comments from the articles. So we need to add that right now. So if you scroll up, still after the articles body being displayed, the next after that will be basically let's think. Yeah, the author section. So you just add that in here. So you could just say container. So should be a container, and inside the container we are going to say the container is going to have a column, because you have this author, we have this line divider, another divider, and then we go with the author picture, the name, the what's this, so the dates, the author joined or what. So this should be the dates the author joined, and then the time. So this is basically the date the article was written. Okay, yeah, so that makes sense now. So this is the date author joined, and the time, and so something like that. And yeah, so child, so it's saying should be cool. Right in here we have the children, and inside the children we have the first one should be a test, comma, inside the test we're going to have something that says author. Let us style this using style, and our style is going to come in from test team dot now of context testing target caption, that should be caption test, then first unwrap that, and we're going to make use of headline. What happened? Okay, copy width and change most of this. And we actually check the color. So basically it's a caption text color. Okay, yeah. Next will be, wait, go back. So it's 400, the font weight is 400, the size is 15 pixels, and that's all we need. So you say over here the font weight is 400, the size is 15 pixels, right? Yeah, 15 pixels, and already has a padding from year to year, which is the same padding we have been using before. So go ahead and save that. For some reason we can't see that, so something is wrong somewhere. So okay, I see. So this kind of like has a width property that's kind of like too big. We could just say where is it? So we have this container, could actually remove this container entirely. Okay, yeah, that makes sense. So you can actually see this. And under this, instead of making this a container, it makes sense to wrap it with a size box, because that will kind of like use little space. So basically, the reason you kind of like need to wrap your the reason you kind of like need to remove container and use size box is because size box kind of like take little memory, uses little memory than container. The only reason you need a container is because if you want to style something, let's say you have to make something a shape, circle, rectangle, add a color to it, then you can use a container. But if you don't need that, you only want to add a height to a widget, just make use of size box. That's all. Or padding out, yeah. And I'm going to say I'll basically remove this. So this is not a place to add a size box. I can just go ahead and remove this and leave it this way. Actually see that, and the place I could actually add a size box is below here. So size box on equity of context dot size dot height, multiply that by 1, and so it should be height property. So that will fix the error, and add a comma here. Go ahead and go ahead and format this, save it. Then if you scroll up, then we could actually see this, but that's too small. Let's say 4. We could actually scroll. Okay, that's too much. And what about 2? Okay, so we could just leave it this way, and then we could actually see what we're doing here. Let's see. Okay, we have a text called author, which we added here. It doesn't have a padding. We can actually wrap this with a container and add a padding to it, or basically use the padding widget. So you make use of the padding widget and add, say, padding not only. So we're going to target the left, and we're going to use custom so custom spacing, yeah, and right property the same. Okay, go ahead and save that. Okay, that's too much. That's way too much. Okay, horizontal padding, yeah, make use of that one. Save this. Okay, I think when we remove the container from the host, so we kind of like messed a lot of stuff up. Yeah, I see. So you have a column, we have a padding, okay, so we need to kind of like add a padding back up to this, and then also yeah, to this. So we could actually wrap this with a padding widget and then make use of, okay, we already have edges set here. I think we can actually use the easiest way to make this one to just use symmetric, padding symmetric. We could just target the horizontal property, so that would be both the left and the right at the same time, and use not this, so it should be article time. Yeah, this one, and there we go. Start from here and start from here. Okay, yeah, so it should be horizontal pattern. So just start from here and end at this side, and do the same for this. Take this pattern property, head over here and replace the one we have here. Save that. Okay. Yeah, so we have the author, and we should start adding the divider. So add a divider here. I think I had a custom divider somewhere. Check that custom divider. And if I should go right, if we go to the design, so yeah, I think that should be it. So there we have our divider, but that's too small. We don't want it to be centered, so in that case, we can just basically remove this. We won't be using the custom one, we'll be adding the divider from the beginning. So we have thickness. Okay, thickness is 1.0. And we want all this to start from cross alignment to start. So everything starts from the beginning. And we'll reduce the thickness, that's too much, so it's say 0.4. Yeah, so kind of like a blue small fence like what we have here. Okay, that's good. And we already have the spacing between this test and the divider. Next, we need a spacing between this and this, which is 20 pixels. Head over there and basically add, we could actually use padding top for that, but I don't need to use that. Let's use size box. Say height 20 pixels, and we have that spacing. And again, next is to kind of like start adding, after this divider, add another property, which should be our author property that looks in this form. And if we could remember, I think we already implemented that shape somewhere, so I'm going to copy it over to speed up the development. So I think we added something like that. Okay, somewhere here. So in our apps appointment screen, so we have that shape. So head over to the appointment screen. Okay, it should be here. So this make appointment. Let me see. Okay, I've seen it, so I could just so we could actually copy this out, but if we copy it out, it will kind of like be repetition of the same code over and over again in different places in our code. Basically, what we could do is just to actually map this out as a custom component, and that will save us a lot of time. So I could go straight here and so you do that under this widget folder for make appointment, and I'm going to call that user um let's say appointment user card so that it's easy to remember. So dot, and right in there, head over here, basically copy what we have here and move it. Okay, that's too much. I don't know why my keyboard is kind of too fast these days. I'm putting that here so know where I need to add it back, so it will look like as an error, but it's not an error. Next is basically head over to appointment user card. It's going to basically be a stateless widget, so you don't need to make it a stateful. So you got name that appointment user card. Head over here, so we're going to return this. Okay, we're going to return a row widget. Inside the row widget, it has a properties. It is requesting for an image property, which will be a string, and again, it's requesting for a name property, which is going to also be a string. And let's see what else is requesting. Okay, only two properties, so that's good. And we have to have a field here that we need to pass in. So the first one is going to be a name. Nice. Not email. We don't need an email. So this should be image. Let's call that image URL. I think that makes more sense. Go ahead and add that, and then replace whatever we have here. So this should be image URL. Leave it there. The next one, which is going to be a name. I think that's good. So we don't have any error. Save this. Start using this as a. So back to here. So let's fix these errors. And in name property, we are getting that from okay. Now we need some ways to fix. So what were we calling self? I've forgotten what we are calling. So in here we replace the image and the name from properties called, okay, so there's a property, copy that image URL and replace that. Okay, that will be for image. Replace that here. Okay, and next stuff there is the name property, so copy that, replace that with name and save this. Then head over here and replace this name property with this. I think that's it. Save that. And if we head over to our appointment screen, nothing will change. We will still see this there. So, but let's test that out. Head back. So schedule, admission schedule, chart. So admission schedule to appointment. So you still see that it's been added. There's no issue. So that's what we're looking for. So you just go back, head over to our article section, tap on any of these articles and scroll down here. So just copy this and head over here, import this, and right now we need an image of the psychology that is making this article. But let's see if we are passing a property of the psychologist somewhere in our app. In our database, each article has the author name, the author ID, but it doesn't have the author image. Let's see. So basically, this is the article image. Nothing about the author has been added here except the author name and the ID. Okay, but how do we actually get the author without making a request to our backend? Which I don't see it makes sense for now. I think we actually get that from our home page. Remember, in our home page, we are getting hold of all the authors that we have. So that should be right somewhere here. So you call that psychologist model. So, and this model contains the name, the user image of the author, and the experience and other stuff. And that's one thing that's missing. So something is missing. So basically right here, they need us to pass in the date the author joined. And I think, let me see. I think I have that already in the back end somewhere. So this is our psychology section. So open this up. So so we are doing something similar somewhere in our app. We're trying to figure out how we were able to do that, to display the name and this date. Where are we getting that? Basically it's telling us in our appointment screen. Is it consultation? Okay, about consultation. So right here in our consultation screen, if you tap over here, so you're having this March 14 1430, and if I actually head over to the consultation part of the app, that should be, yeah, this is consultation, and the presentation, no, not the model, so that the presentation, so I'm looking for the place that we can like added the image. Oh, we already have something called custom user card. Come on, and we kind of created that again. Basically, this is it. This is a custom user card. So to check that out, if I go ahead and comment this out, that goes off. So we are not seeing that again. And then we are passing something called name, date, and time. So, and we're getting all this from our back end. So maybe somewhere here we are having all this and without knowing. So that should be I'll comment this out again. Save that back. And if I want to head over to, so this is, so arguments, or get arguments. Let me see. Okay. And we're passing this from consultation screen. Okay, I see. So date of the consultation is this, and time of the consultation is this. Okay, that makes sense. I see. So if you head over to our back end here, so if you head over to the user, which is me, and one of the user, and if I go to the consultation I made, so these are the consultations I made, and the consultations has dates, it has time, and it has type. Understand? So that makes sense there. Right now inside here, so that's what we are using here, passing those datas to this page, and we are displaying it right here. But that's not what we are looking for our so that's not what we are looking for our appointment user card. Okay guys, so we got a message. Sorry guys, I haven't been keeping my head on the comment section, so I've been focusing too much on the live stream. So got a message from Miran, and he was asking a question, if he could actually build a location tracking, something like that. Yeah, you could actually build that on Flutter. Yeah, that's possible. You can actually build anything that you want using any framework. So your knowledge is not kind of like constrained to a framework. Like, how do I put it? Your project or what you want to build is not constrained to any framework. You could pick up any programming language, any UI framework, and still implement the same stuff. So you can do it in any one you want. Okay, so back up here, see, back to what we are doing. Um, okay, now I see. So appointment user card, we actually had coding this right here, which should actually be causing a lot of problem for us without knowing. So we need to remove this hard coded file. we should basically remove it and replace that with the real data. Okay. And the real data will basically be if we have to get the real data, I think we need to fix this bug right now. So it's a bug, so we won't gonna like have to deal with it in the future. Let's fix that out. If you head over here, so this is our psychologist. So basically, if you have to do our data modeling of our psychologist, so our psychologist should also have, come on, each of our psychologists should also have a property called the date they joined, the time they joined. So we could actually display that like this. So basically the same right here. So you should also have this, the months and the day they joined and the time they actually joined the app. And to do that, I can actually hard code it for most of the psychologists here and work with that. But then remember that whenever we want to create a new psychologist or when a psychologist registers, we have to get those properties and then send it to the upload it to the database. So right here I could actually add let me say so that's how we did that for articles. No, not articles, that should be for consultation. So the month and the day is March 14 and the time they joined, okay, the user availabilities. Okay, let's see. Okay, so this is basically the psychologist availability, not the time they join. So this psychologist is available on March 14, time is 14:30. Okay, okay, I see. Yeah, that makes more sense. And basically what we could use to achieve that is this early admit. So you have this early admit property here. So you need to format this to actually get what we this stuff, like months, time, and so on and so forth. So I think we can actually do that. And let me see how we get hold of this first. So right here, I'm going to have something that's actually going to throw an error. Um, so I should gotta have a load. So there we go, just added that. So that's going to throw an error in most places because most places will be requiring that. With that being added, so I could just replace what we have here in that form, just replace every single thing. Add the availability property, which is a string. And right now, so the first place we need to deal with this will be appointment user card. No, so make appointment screen. So make appointment screen has a property called early. The psychologist has a property called early admit. So we have to format that using our utility function that we created somewhere here. time formatter, and we can actually format that here. So I could just say static, and I'm going to name that to be okay. So I'm going to say it's going to require a string, so I'm going to pass a string there. Basically it should be a string, not a string but a string. Date time, so call that date time. Oh, I cannot like fall in love with named parameter. Just say required and use named parameter here, so in this form. So this is called named parameter. And once we kind of like get the user to pass this to us in a string form, then we have to kind of format this. Let's see, we are not format date formats pattern, but we want to format in, let's see, so we format it in with month, day, so month, day, and okay, yeah, so I think you have an example of that. So it should be like this: triple M and the day, which is DD, and have the hour and time. See, because this is saying something. Okay, so the area limits. Okay, we can actually use that. So we have the hour, and then we have the minutes. In that way, then we format format date time. So I have to pass date time there, date time objects. Yeah, so date time dot pass, we pass in the string that I want to format with it. I think that's it. So go ahead and save this and try using this function. If you copy that, go ahead and save this, and let's try that here. So this is the first way we want to make the changes. So say availability. So availability, we get hold of home, no, or before we do that, we have to call this time formatter. Save time formatter, import it, and we're going to say dots. Yeah, that's one we want to use, and we're going to pass in a psychologist with its array admit property dot array admit. So I think that's it. If you go ahead and save that, we don't, okay, we have an error and we need to fix that too, and that should be somewhere here. But for now, I'm going to uncomment all this stuff out. Okay, so that should be here. Okay, yeah, there we go. So this is saying July 11 and 000. So that means 12 o'clock. Is that basically what that time is? So the time here 000. Okay, yeah, it's 12 o'clock. So there is the hour, there's a minute, there's seconds, and there's microseconds. Okay, yeah, that makes sense. So the user is available at July 11 12 o'clock. So that's 000. Whoosh. I think it would actually make sense if we just say 12 dot dot 000 instead of saying 0 dot 000. But that's basically meaning 12 o'clock. And yeah, but that's something that needs to be done. So it kind of like is available from this time to this time. So that's basically a change we need to make. So saying that the user is actually available from this time to actually this time. But we need to include that later on in our app. But for now, we could actually have this there. So it will not be hard coded at the moment. But we need to fix one more stuff. So we need the mode to be actually complete. Yeah, so the month is now complete. So if you made it 4M, the month will be complete. And then after that, I have to add a comma, and a comma is added. So after July 11, a comma, and then the time the user is available. I think that is it. So we're good to go. We start using that everywhere that we need it. So this will not be hard coded. So if we head over to our consultation screen, you can see this is actually hard coded. I think it's hard coded. Let's see that. What did I do? So let's say check consultation screen and make sure that's not hard coded. Oh, one, no. Okay, so we fix this here. Okay, we don't need it here. So the next place we need it should be, okay, we don't need it in the chat screen. Okay, yeah, so this should be consultation. So head over to the consultation screen. So there we go. And inside the consultation screen, we have, okay, the consultation card. We are passing the date, time. Okay, this one is different. So we don't need it here. So inside the consultation details screen, I think we need it somewhere here. Okay, we still don't need it here because we are still passing the name, time, dates, and time. Okay. So basically it's the article section. So you can just make use of that in the article section right here. So we need to get hold of the selected psychologist name, which we actually passing here. We are passing the pictures, and the same way we are passing the images and the rest for the psychologist is the same way we'll be passing the time. So let's figure out. So we have article picture. Okay, article picture kind of like gets the picture of the psychologist, but that doesn't include the psychologist availability and all those stuff. And we could actually say change that from our articles controller, and I could actually say something like have a variable over here, and I'm going to call that rx. So rx type of psychologist, so it's basically a psychologist model, and that is equals to for the article psychologist. Okay, there we go. Right now I'm going to have a function that will be called here. When we have selected article, we are going to get hold of the author's ID, and then use that to kind of like get hold of the particular psychologist that we want. And we could actually do that all that from using from our home controller, which we have here. No, this is our home controller. All the psychologists that we need is being added somewhere here called psychologist. All right, we want to make use of this in the home controller. Copy the home controller, head over to our articles controller, and add the home controller here, because we're going to use that to do some work right now. I'm going to say home controller, import this, get use of this, and I'm going to say article psychologist dot value will be home controller dot psychologist dot value first where element, so dot where elements dot uid is equal to article dot so that it should be article dot, come on, so the uid we are trying to get hold of is basically, yeah, the author ID. So yeah, this particular psychologist, so that's called author ID, and could actually say article dot nope. Okay, so name ID, so there's property called ID. Nope, 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 not that. So not that, I think we made a mistake. So our article model, go to definition. Article has a picture, has a name, has a minimum read, has a date, has an ID, has a body, but we are not including the what's it called again, we're not including the author details. which we need to get from here. So we have to say add an author ID property to this article model. I'm going to say final for author ID are going to be a required property. Yeah, and in here we're going to add it somewhere here, and this way it should be. If you save that, hopefully we are not getting any error. That should be it. Save that. Still uncomment this out. We don't need to uncomment it out. So just leave it this way. So since we are actually having this being filtered and being assigned to this user, so we could just make use of that particular article psychologist, which is this, for the user's details. So right here, we can actually say pass in here. So for now, I'm going to use an hardcode name. So say home. Instead of saying that, get use of the article underscore article controller dot article psychologist dot value dot name, and the same thing with the image URL. Just be article controller dot article psychologist dot value. Okay, and last but not the least is basically the availability property. Get hold of that from our time formatter. Dot import this first, so we get the errors taken away, and just say dot and we're going to pass in the early admit property. So I'm going to say dot early admit. I think that's it. That's all we need. And let's test this out. Hopefully this starts working. Okay, so we are having a null prop issue. Let's start our app. Over to this. And that's working, so we are good to go. So we could actually get hold of the author picture, the author name, and the availability of the author. So that's good. So our all our work was kind of like fruitful. So we were able to get all this stuff displayed. And let's look at the design we have. So we're still almost done for this section. Let's fix this up. So we have, yeah, okay, so let's add a last divider under it. Copy the same divider, so add that under here. And there we go. So we added that somewhere here. The size box, so say height, say that should be around 10.0 about 13 14. Okay, I think that's okay. reduce the thickness more. Do the same right here, reduce the thickness to 0.2. I think we are good to go. And the next we need to add is the comment section. Add the comments under there. So I'm going to have a text field under here, and I'm going to call that hard coded. I need to hard code that. So hard coding that. So let's move all this stuff to our test class. So where we can like have all our hard coded tests added. Yeah, custom test. So we could actually do that all year because I'll be doing the same for the previous ones. So just say so call that article details test 1. That's called author. There we go. And the next one should be basically comments, like what we have here. It says comments. Just copy the text, head over here, paste that. No. Yeah, there we go. So that's custom test. Head over here, replace this hard coded stuff. Okay, so it's still there, so there's no changes. And this same one, we do the same here, and just copy the same stuff. And name this to 2. I think there we go. Save that, and you can see the comments added. And I have a spacer. Format this, then add a style. Inside the style, we're going to use theme dot of context dot size. No, not the size, but test. It's called a testing dot caption. First unwrap that this way, okay, and then we could just make our changes. And we could, so this is font width of 400, the font size of 17. So font size should be 17, font width is 400, and it's not a caption text, it's basically a headline. Say headline 5. Okay, remove the color property, we don't need the color. The same here, so we did similar stuff, so we don't need the colors. Well, okay, yeah, so we cannot like be able to fix this. Yeah, so font weight of 400 and font size of 17, and we need a space in between that and a divider. So let's look at, so this should be 20, and from there to the rest is another 20. So I have a size box. So there we go. And then we can start adding the comment bars, and the comment bars will actually be a list view. So we are going to have a list view that will help us to display all the comments on the article. Should I correct do here? Because if you look at this, see all the comments are kind of being listed with the same properties. If you could see, there we go. So what we could do is to have a list view builder right here. So I'm going to have this list view dot builder. For the builder, we have a context, comma, we have an index, and we are just going to return a custom widget. So I'm going to have a widget called comments in here. And I'm going to say can't think of something. You're going to be a stateful or stateless widget. Let's make it a stateless widget for the moment, or let's we found out otherwise it's not. So maybe you want to add an animation to it, that's why we need to make it a stateful widget or something like that. So I have articles, now article comments, there it is, import this, and I'm going to say return to be a container. So since it's a container, I'm going to copy this, head over here inside our list view, and just say item counts, just 10, and then go ahead and return a widget called article comments. Import that widget, and then go ahead and save this. Okay, now we are having an issue. Isn't it expanded? Okay, that's going to cause more error. Yeah, so there we go. So the issue goes away because we are giving it a height property. Where did he go to? So this moves up. let's leave this for now like that. Go ahead and start making changes to this. And inside the article section, all the articles has not the articles, all the comments. So inside the comment section, all the comments has a picture in this form, and also they all has what's it called, this name, and I think all of them have been positioned in a row widget, this and this, and this is the only one in a column. And to do that, we could actually say inside here, basically move this. So this should be a row, and inside the row widget, we're going to have a children property. Inside the children property, the first one is going to be an circle avatar. So these are circle avatar. Come on, what's so I'm going to add a child property. So the child property is basically images of the people that did comments on the app. So their images is what I'm going to have here. So it has a name property, has an image URL. I think those are the two we need at the moment. And the circle avatar is going to be this child is going to be an image, not that asset, but network. So this is going to throw an error, because right here we need to pass in those comments from each article, but we haven't gotten a way to actually get hold of the comments from each article. Just go ahead and delete this, because when we return article model, so there's an article, and also the article model has this property, has a property called comments, which we are not returning. So she has a comment, and each comment should also have an author, right? So each comment should also have an author, and also yeah, so each comment should have an author, and so yeah, so this is what the comments look like. So the comment is a list of itself and has a property called an author name, date, pictures, and each comment also has a sub comment, and so on and so forth. So I could actually go ahead and add this stuff right here. So let's go to that author model. I'm going to have a final. It's going to be a list, list of type, dynamic, and call that comments. So I'm going to say required, and then add it here. So it's called comments, which is basically the same name we gave it here. Go ahead and save that. So go ahead for now, and let's comment this out and return an empty container, so I could actually be able to refresh our page. So if you restart this, go to articles and open this up, scroll down, then right now let's start adding this articles property. So I'm going to say in here import this, so that's no need to import this. So the first one is going to be name, and the name, because we are trying to get their name from, what's it called, from our articles. So I'm going to say controller, so articles controller, get hold of that. So I'm going to pass in dots articles okay, we already have something called article dots dot comments dot length. So yeah, so this is what basically what we are looking for. So that'll be article dot comment dot length right here. So we get hold of the articles dot comment and index, then you get hold of the name, and also the same for the image URL dot image. So if you go ahead and save this, so we have an issue. Okay, yeah. So if I have to go over here in our database, I can actually see each of the articles has the comment has an author of the comment, author ID, and date. So it's basically author, not name. So this should be author, call that author, and this the image path picture. So get hold of the picture. There we go. So finally we got it working. So you can actually see the pictures right there. So get it over here. So we have circle avatar. The height should say 40 by 40, no, 40 by 40. Fit cover radius, so say radius to be 20. Come on now. Yeah. No. I could change this to clip length. As always, there are a whole lot of options to use. Yeah. So I could use clip rates and border reduce on it. So I'll just say 50. That will still do the same work. Let's say so around 20. Okay, let's just leave it at 50. Okay, there we go. So that's basically circled, but the image is not taking a full size, so go to the BuzzFeed.cover. Okay, yeah, so there we go. So add a BuzzFeed.cover to it and then reduce the size again. Let's say 40. Okay, about 50. Looks like it's too tiny. Okay, and next we can actually wrap this with a container. Instead of a container, we just use padding on it, and padding around it, just say yeah. And there we go. So we already added padding the bottom to each of them. And if you look over here, our design, so yeah, so it's 10 pixels, yeah, so it makes sense. That's what I did there. Added 10 pixels padding at the bottom, and the next we need to add is the name of the person that added this comment and the comment that they added. And if you go over here, so you should have a test. Just connect a text. You should have a column property, and inside the column have a should, and inside the should have a test. And inside the test is going to be the name property that we added, and basically the name property is going to be 400 by 15, and there's we go, 400 by 15. So you go ahead and save that, and there you go. You see the name is basically added, and that should actually have a spacing, and I can add that space by using size box, comma, and I'm going to use the width property, and I'm going to say so from here to here is about 10 pixels, and that should be around 10.0. Okay, that's pushed it. And still inside the column here, we have to add another test field, not 5 minutes ago, and that should be for this, the what it was the comment about. So that's the test field we're going to add now, not test field but the test, and it's going to be 400 by 13. So I have 400 by 13, and still a dark color, black color, so it shouldn't be a caption. So basically make that a headline. That's headline 6. We don't need a color property on it. Let's go ahead and format the code, and right here I have to change this to accept another parameter. So another parameter we're going to add called there we go. Add that. See, that's going to throw an error. You have to fix that by coming over here and add up parts, so get hold of the comment that they added, and let's see what that's called in our back end. So in our back end we called it with the author of the comment, the author ID as sub comment. So basically we don't have a property called comments that the author added. So each of them has a sub comment. Okay, I see. So there's a property called test, not comment, so we call it test. Okay, that's too much. That's way too much. So we need to size this. for the size box, I'm going to use a width property. Let's say 200.0. Yeah, so that kind of shrinks it. And if you look over here, let's see that basically what we need. Let's say we give it 250. Okay, it that way, and make everything to start from the beginning. So I get to say plus axis. Yeah, so moves everything to the beginning, and we still need to add a spacing right here. So is that okay? So we added 10 pixels. Okay, that's okay. So from here to here is about 4 pixels. From here to here, no, from here to here is about 6 pixels. We can round everything up to 6 pixels. And so that will be basically using a size box. I'm going to say height property. So say 6.0, that's all. So that will be a space between this and this. And then we have to add another one that is missing. And there we go. So next, below it, we have another test for the timing. And the timing is going to say something like the date it was added, third, month, and year. And then we have this property called answer that user can tap on and then add his or her own answer to the comment that has been added already. And we could actually do that. So there we go. So we have date February something like that. So for now we just get hold of the dates. So that's called dates, and we can just add that to this constructor right here. So since we just added this, so we head over to this article section and then add the dates here. If you get that from, okay, yeah, and there we go. So that's added below. You actually see that. So you can see that here saying Anna, okay, the comment that they added, and then we have the dates property right there. So yeah, there we go. So we have another test called answer. We can add that. Let's add that and finish this up. See what else we need to change. So this should actually be a row widget. A row widget, comma, as a children property. And in there we have to copy this and move it inside the row widget. And after that, next we need to do is to add another test. Okay, this should be hard coded, so I'm going to use custom test. That's all. Custom test. So there we go. So it has the property called answer, and I'm going to basically use a size box, not a spacer. Say size box. So that should be it. Okay. Let's make it 20. So this to this is basically 15, not 20. So that should be 15 pixels. Let's place it as 15 pixels. Let's see what else we need to fix up here. So this image should be at the top and not basically this way. So I'm going to say okay, yeah, so move the image to be at the starting at the top. I don't know. Okay, I think it's main axis that we need to add. Okay, it's cross axis. And then we could just remove the main axis, or we could just leave it. Just remove that. And there we go. I think we are good to go. So if we bring this side by side and compare what we have done so far, and so we have this article image, but I think it's too big. So the image actually here is 36 by 36. So saying 36 by 36, we just say 40. We could just reduce it to actual image. It should be 36 by 36. Okay, and there we go. So open this up. So look at this. So we have the image rounded, we have the name, we have the comment they added, we have the dates and the answer properties, so that if a user tap onto that, they can actually give an answer to the comments, and that's it. So one more property we can actually add is a load more property, whereby we can limit the limit this to 5 answers, and when the user tap load more, they can see more answers beneath the comment sections. And we could actually add this property which says show more. So we could just add that, and then note tomorrow we are just going to focus on being able to add a comment and being able to add a sub comment to someone's comments. Yeah. So to add that, we should be able to add that in here. So still inside our column, should add that test. So it should be a row, still a row widgets, and it's going to have a children property. Let me see. Outside the children property, we are going to have a divider. I think that makes sense. A divider, and if we add that and save that, so that would be an issue. Okay, can we see it? We can't see the color. We can't see our divider. So come on, no. So we are using the gray color for it. Okay, and actually shrink the size by using the height property. Can't see that. Let me see. So I'm using a divider here. I can actually improvise because I'm trying to see what is gonna like making this not to show up. So I have a size box, I have a row widget, not a row widget. Actually add a size box, and inside the size box I have a comma here, and inside there we're gonna have a height. And then replace this to container. And I can, okay, just go with that. Okay, there we go. So I'm going to reduce the height a bit. So let's say around 6 pixels. That's too much, 1 pixels. Okay, yeah, and then increase the width. So let's give it a width of 80. Okay, that's too much. 40. Let's see the width of the property we have here. So this is actually a width of 23 and height of 1 pixel, so a width of 23. Okay, there we go. So there is it. And next is see the spacing. Okay, that's around 14 or 15 pixels. So 14.5, no, 0.5. And in here we have to add a text. So we're going to add another custom test, hard-coded test here. I'm going to add show answer. So that's going to say something like show answer. Okay, the first one is going to have this called show, and the second one is going to have what we call answer, and in between it is the total answers we have, the total sub comment we have. And we could do the magic here. Just copy this, and then we could have our test field like this. I'm going to say thinking of what to do now. Okay, yeah, so basically I'm going to use template literals, and in here I'm going to say for, and after that in between it is another template string called total. We're still going to add that later on, and then we have another sub template literal with this called 5, because the fifth one is answers. So this total, we are going to copy that and add that here. Final. I'm going to say total sub comments. So basically I'm going to add this later on to the place I added total. Yeah, I think this is good. So if we head over here, we need to fix this up, and the sub comments is actually a list. If we are to check that out, come on. So if you are to go over here and check out the sub comments, so the sub comment is actually a list, which is basically an array of its own. No. Okay, yeah, an array of its own. So you can see. So get hold of this sub comment property. Right here, I'm going to say so sub comments is going to be article. Remove this. So the property is called, I think I copied it. Okay, I didn't. Okay, just copy this again. Okay, there we go. So as a list, so this basically as a list, so you're going to say dot length. Okay, yeah, so it's not a string, it's basically an int. That's an int there. Okay, yeah, nice. So that's showing up perfectly good. So you could see, so it's saying show 3 answers, and this says show 3 answers, and also the ones under it saying the same stuff, show 3 answers. But before we do any other stuff, let's see. So below this, I can actually have a size box, and I'm going to say height property, going to be mediocrity of context dot size dot height, then multiply that by 0.1 or 0.2. So right now I can actually scroll down because I want to scroll down and not stop there. Okay, yeah guys, where did it scroll? Okay, let's see. Okay, it's scrolling, it's working. So there's the last comment here, which is say Daria Helenko. We could check that out to see if that's basically the last comment. Yeah, so that's it, Daria Helenko. So that's the last comment we have right there. So that's it guys, for today. So tomorrow we'll be working on actually trying to be able to populate what we have here. So we could type here and then submit a comment, and then if you tap over here, we can actually submit a new comment to this comment here as a sub comment. So I'm looking towards to that, with you, working on that tomorrow with you guys. Hopefully we get that completed tomorrow, and then we could just move over to the next UI here, which is the edit profile section. And yeah, that's it. So thank you guys for joining, and I like yeah, if you can like stay more longer, I'll be streaming more. I'll be streaming again on on what's it called, on React Native. So I have a project on React Native that I'll be streaming again in few hours. So if you guys could stay a bit longer, you guys could be able to join me on that stream, or whenever I start streaming, you guys will see the notification and join the stream. And again, if you haven't subscribed to the channel, guys, feel free to subscribe, and we'll be doing more together. So I'm looking forward to working with you guys more and doing whole lot of stuff with you guys. So thank you for joining, and have a wonderful day. I'll see you guys in the next streams that will be coming up. Thank you.